Welcome back to Daytime here on Rogers TV. Well, let me tell you, we're all going to be making New Year's resolutions in just a few weeks' time, and probably one of the most popular ones that people make not only is weight management, but of course time management. As our world gets busier and busier and busier, it becomes more and more of a necessity. So here to help us out with some tips ahead of time so that we can be ready for it is Dr. Nathalie Beauchamp. It's good to see you again.
Hi guys, how are you?
Oh, just
excellent.
Fantastic. And
Good,
you?
good. Excellent.
Good,
I'm
good.
excited. This is probably my favorite time of the year, you know, spending time with family and friends, but it's also December gives us January as a new start, and we did
Yes.
goal setting last time I was here.
That's
so
right.
and we ran out of time to do our time management
know,
segment.
which is so
We ran out
ironic.
of time
Yeah.
for time management. It's perfect.
So
But it's
let's
great
play
that you're
along
doing
with
it
this.
now, and I mean what I said, that it's good to talk about it now because a lot of people will make this as a resolution, but if you don't have the right procedures in place, it'll be harder to do.
Yeah, and I
assume.
mean, I usually talk about this for an hour or two, so we'll try to keep it simple. I don't
Okay.
know if we're having technical difficulty and
With the big one.
with the big one, but my computer should do. And I love this picture here of this lady with Post-it and grabbing her hair and so forth.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with your time, and is it time for a change? And what I've done here is I've basically counted the time we spent with all different things. For instance, sleep. Let's calculate, because what I want to do is see where are we wasting our time.
Right.
Right, yes.
So sleep, we spend on average 56 hours per week. Work, 40 hours. Eating, 7 hours. Driving and transportation, 7 hours. Socializing, 3 hours. Personal care, 3 hours. Meal preparation, 10 hours. You know, groceries
Wow.
and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, it does add up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So relaxation, 1 hour. I was pretty mean on this one. Reading, 2 hours. Exercising, 4 hours. So that's 133 hours per week. Now, off the cuff here, do you guys know how many hours there are in a week?
I knew you were going to ask this.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
168.
Okay.
So with that formula we just did, if we're spending 133 hours doing, you know, this kind of stuff we talked about, then it gives us 35 hours unaccounted for.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is really huge. So one of the quotes that I was listening to the other day on the educational stuff I listened to in the car is this. Look at a person's schedule and checkbook, and you will see what is really important to them.
To their schedule and
Interesting.
checkbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you may say family is important, but if you look at your schedule and there's no family time in there. You may
Right.
say working out is important, but there's no times in your schedule. You may say that you know, whatever you're buying is important to you, but if you're not buying that, then you're spending money on other things. So I really thought that was
That's a really good way to
Yeah.
look at
To
it.
look at
you
things,
know?
yeah.
I imagine, yeah, if you looked at your MasterCard, Visa statement, whatever it is, your credit card statement to see where you spent money, like really looked at it carefully each and every month, I think a lot of people would go, oh.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
even when we're buying things, we probably buy gas for our car to take us to work, clothes for work. You know, everything is always probably centered mostly around our work day.
work or things, bad habits that we might have.
Right.
We don't really want
Eating
to,
out and,
yeah.
you know.
LCBO. So if you see that a few times, you're in big trouble.
Exactly. So what I thought we would do is go over what I call time eaters. And
Okay.
I have a few here, and go back to what we talked about last time I was here. Lack of focus and no clear goals. And
Okay.
I keep saying to my patient, if you get in your car, you don't know where you're going, where are you going to end up? So
Right.
you need to be clear on things. Example, you want to run a half marathon. If you don't sit down with a schedule to say, okay, April 1st, I'm doing this marathon and plan backwards, you're not going to do it, right?
Right.
Same thing with you when you're competing in dancing.
Yeah,
you
that's
have to
right.
plan and plan,
Of course.
you know, backwards. Another big one, procrastination. And I know, I
Yes.
think people know who they are with what aspect.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know.
Looking at me.
The other one, not being organized, and that's a big one. And one of the ones that we're going to, you know, focus on after that is a few other strategy. TV. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, nothing wrong with watching a little bit of TV.
Facebook has to be on that list.
Exactly. Email and web surfing, computer
Right.
games, Facebook and social networking. The snooze button. You know, how many times do we set the alarm to go to the gym in the morning and time happened, that, you know, the alarm goes on and boom, snooze, and we let it go. And then worrying. And then, you know, that's something that we waste a lot of time and energy on. Just yesterday, one of my patients has a family situation, and I said to her, is there something you can do to change it now? She's like, no. Well, you know, really try to look at a situation and analyze if there's something you can do about it or not. And if you can't, you got to let it go.
Yeah.
If you can, then do whatever needs to be done.
And don't we get stuck in that loop of worrying about what might happen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? Because you waste a lot of time. And
Yeah.
it
I
might not be
agree,
true.
and I disagree with you.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I know myself, when a situation happened, I look at the worst case scenario,
Right.
visualize it, and ask myself, could I handle this? And if the answer is yes, move on.
I do that
I see.
same
Very
thing.
interesting,
I do the
yeah.
same
I
thing.
don't know if it's right or
I
wrong,
do.
but it seems to work for
Yeah.
me. I need to...
I prepare myself for the
Exactly.
worst, and then
And
hope for the
everything else
best.
is easy, right? Because oftentimes that worst scenario doesn't happen.
Right.
So I put down a few strategies here. Learn to say no. Okay? And again, if you're not clear about your goals and purpose and values and vision for your life, you're going to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I'm so
Okay.
bad at this.
Yeah, I
I'm
think the
so
two of us
bad at it.
suffer
Yeah,
from this.
I'm
Yeah.
so bad. And every year I say that I'm going to get better, and I never do.
Yeah.
And think of saying yes to the most important things. And you'd be surprised how much it's going to increase your own energy, because how often do we go places and we don't really want to go? How do you feel? You feel drained, and that probably affects your entire day.
Yeah.
So, you know, think of your own energy. Get organized. Declutter your office, your environment, because if your environment is cluttered, your brain's going to be cluttered. You can't think as clearly.
That's what my problem is.
Is it? Okay, I'll be at your house on Sunday. We're going to organize. I love doing
Just don't
this.
look at my desk.
Well, that's what we're going to focus on. Use technology to organize your schedule. I'm currently doing this. You know, Yahoo, Google Calendar, and all this. I had a nerd coming to my office, and you know, Jonathan is great. He won't mind I'm calling him a nerd, because I've been called a nerd too myself. But
It's a compliment, people that
it
can
is. I see that as a compliment. So
Yeah.
he is trying to declutter my technology so I can be more efficient. I have a lot of patients that have a calendar for the family on Google, so they can all sync. Who doesn't own a phone now? Even you
Yeah.
know, kids have iPhone
Yeah.
and BlackBerry. It's just a matter of getting organized, that everybody in the family has got their personal calendar, and then there's a family calendar, so you can crisscross things. I have
Right.
patients that have 3 girls in rangettes. You know, you have to synchronize the practice and all
yeah.
that
For
stuff.
sure.
So it's a great way to go about it. Leveraging your time. I brought a great audio system that I'm listening to right now in the car called The Compound Effect. And it's from the publisher of this great magazine. I'd strongly suggest people subscribe to it. It's Success Magazine. It's all good stories. It's all success
Oh, nice.
story. And they have an audio every month, but that's an add-on. So another time saver is podcast and audio. If you're in commute, half an hour a day, think of the stuff you can learn. I
Yes,
don't
that's
listen to
right.
radio
True.
anymore.
That's
you know?
it.
So iPod, doing your workout. Like, there's a lot of ways that we can get information, you know, to us. Delegate.
Right.
Eliminate. If you've tossed something on
So
your
bad at
desk
that
3
too.
times, just, you know, throw it.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, I find December to be great for this, because you want to start clean in the new year. And the last one I put here is creating rhythm. And what I mean by this, I was in New Jersey at a conference a few weeks ago, and the fellow who was very successful business owner was saying that his calendar is all about rhythm. At 11:30, he phones his wife. At, you know, whatever time he gets up. So ask yourself this question: what is in your life right now that you could have on a rhythm? A call
Right.
with, you know, your
So
your
it's
team.
a good thing to have that?
It is,
Oh,
because
good.
you'll never be
Oh,
stressed.
I love that.
You'll never be stressed.
Structure.
So 11:30, you know this, and if you get up at the same time, go to the gym at the same time, meet, you know, with your you know, your business partner or your employee or your
Yeah.
staff or, you know, your kids, like even have family meeting. So nothing is ever in a hassle because it's planned at the last minute. I mean, you want to leave a little bit of spontaneity, but it's good to have rhythm, and I really like this, and that's one thing that I'm working on.
Talk to you, Nathalie. You are always a joy to have on the show,
Yeah.
and these are fantastic, wonderful things. Yes, you have something starting
The Wellness Expo, guys, this year is in January, and obviously you know
sorry,
Rogers.
I wasn't sure
Sorry,
what
I
was on
just
this
thought
one.
that.
I'm trying to scan it really quick. Okay, Saturday, January 22nd.
22nd. We'll be back
Excellent.
here in January to promote the event. We're over 80 exhibitors. We're doing at the Shankman this
good.
year, and you guys better come. I want to see you
Okay.
there.
All right, January
Thank
22nd,
you very
10
much.
a.m.
Yeah, thank you very much, Natalie.
Thank you, guys, and have a
Make sure you mark
fabulous
this on your
holiday.
calendar. She always puts a great one together. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that. She'll be back, like she said, to talk about it. You can reach her at drnataliebeauchamp.ca. We'll be right back after this with today's music. Don't go away.